Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Well, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning and we're going to a place called Tarn Hows today. So forecast is fog and mist, no rain, just fog and mist. I've got a couple of ideas for a shot there because I've been before, but I don't know, it's a bit of a voyage of discovery, this one. You could come back empty handed, but then again you could come back with something pretty epic. So it's probably about 45 minutes drive from where I am now. So I'm going to hit the road and flick you back on when we get up there. Well, this is Tarn Hows. You'll have seen from the B-roll, it may well be that I'm in the wrong place today, because as you can see, the fog and the mist here is non-existent. On the other side of the valley, it looks like there's actually a cloud inversion, which a little bit annoyed at, but this is the thing with this sort of game, you can't tell where the weather is going to be. On the positive, if I flick you around, we've got breaks in the cloud, which means that there could be some light maybe shortly. There is some mist over here in the background. So what I'm going to do, when you come to Tarn Hows, the first thing you do is you throw your car in the car park and you think, right, take the iconic shot, stand on the top of the hill, shoot right down, poof, there you go. Nah, take that by all means, but then walk around. There's a tree there. In one of the first videos I ever did on YouTube, I shot that tree. I did a long exposure video around here and it's absolutely horrific. I would advise no one to watch it. It's awful. But I leave it up there because it sort of depicts the journey that we've been on. So, got some lovely reflections today. I'm going to have a walk around there, see what there is, and I'll flick you back on when we get something lined up. So as we wend our merry way down around Tarn Hows, I said in the last video, in the description, I don't know if anybody reads the descriptions, but there's a problem with this Z8. Now I don't know if it's just me and my Z8, or if it's an inherent problem with this camera, but you've got to bear in mind, I'm saying this coming from having shot with a D5200, a D5600, a D810, a Z6 II, and now the Z8. And the problem with it is, with these long exposures, when I was shooting long exposures with the D810, or the 5600 or whatever you want to play with, you always got hot pixels in the image to a point. If you went for like extreme long exposure, like something like an 8-minute or something like that, you were going to get hot pixels. That D810 in that last video, most of the photographs I think I showed in that video were 2 minutes long. 2-minute exposures. The number of hot pixels in those images is absolutely obscene. It was, now I know in Photoshop there's a quick clean for hot pixels and all the rest of it, but that's not the point. You know, I've heard about overheating on these D810s. Now, I don't really shoot any sports, so I'm not using rapid burst photography. So I've not really experienced any overheating. The nearest I get to overheating is when I do the long exposures. And goodness me, that is a bit naughty, really. You think a camera of that value and quality, you shouldn't be getting all those hot pixels. Now all I can put it down to is the fact, and I'm not a technical boffin with any of this, it must be something to do with this sensor that they're using on it, because it's different, obviously, to the D810 and stuff. But yeah, I thought I would mention it, just in case anyone is thinking, oh, I'll get a Z8 and do some light exposure. Be prepared to have to do some significant cleanup in Photoshop, shall we say. Ooh, very nice. Rant over. Just enjoying the landscape. Beautiful. So we're walking down here now. Conditions they look like they could just be perfect if that mist would come in, but I don't think it's gonna. Still, I've had a good run on this. I've had a good run. Can't complain about the shots we've got over the last few weeks. Wow. So I'm going to walk a bit further around. Might put the drone up in a minute as well and have a butcher's. That's the one thing about the drone. You can actually use it to spot, so you can see where the pockets of mist may be. Nothing's safe anymore. I love this tree here. Let me flick you around. Can you see it on there? That tree there. Not that one. That one. It's just stood there, proud, on its own little island. Sound like Bob Ross, don't I? Anyway, onwards and upwards. Flick you back on. As and when I find the first composition. Well, Tarn Hows. It's a bit of a Marmite location, I think, for photographers, this one, because it's man-made, and the purists, they do walk among us, will be saying, oh well, it's not natural, it's not natural. Well, it's not, but could that argument not be made that in the Lake District nothing's really natural, because it's all managed? You know, pretty much everything is managed by either the National Trust or the Lake District National Park, so there's someone involved in every step of what you see. And for me, I love it. I think it's beautiful. There's some beautiful waterfalls that will be full flow because we've had so much rain up here. There's some beautiful waterfalls on the other side, which if we get a chance today I'll take you to. But this location, generally you'll find, is best in autumn, because the colour palette that you get in autumn is just like, wow. And if you Google Tarn Hows, you will see that generally everybody shoots it in autumn. Now what I was thinking today was, when I checked clear outside, which admittedly has let me down today, what I was thinking was that I know this location would work if you had mist, because part of the problem with it is it's a very, very busy landscape. It's very difficult to isolate certain parts of it. And what I was thinking was, today with mist, you could actually get that definition in the shot, which unfortunately we haven't got. But to be fair, we've had a good run on this. It's not been, we can't really complain. The last two times I've been out, I've been to some beautiful images. So we've got to make do with what we've got. Now, I don't know whether to follow it down there and walk to the edge of the lake, or try and get higher, because as you've seen from the drone footage, there is a bit of a cloud inversion on the other side, and I'd love to be able to shoot that, but I don't think I can get high enough. I'm going to have a walk up here. Oh, there you go. The viewing area. Let's go and have a look at the viewing area, and then we'll hit the lake side or the Tarn side and see if we can find something down there. So I'm going to walk up this hill, and I'll flick you back on when we get to the top. So I managed to get a bit higher. Just look at this. Look at that Bobby Dazzler. Can you see that? Got cloud inversion. Deep mist in the valleys. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Have a look, I'll show you this little comp that I've lined up. So I found these two little trees in here. Don't worry about the bottom of the frame, because I'll crop that out. So you look at that. I love that. I think that's very pretty. So first shot of the day, not actually of Tarn Hows. How bad is that? Here's a video on Tarn Hows for everyone, and you end up shooting in completely the opposite direction. But you got to shoot where the interest is. That's all there is to it. Don't be afraid to look behind. So I'm going to rattle a couple off here. There's a hill, it's a bit higher there. I think I'm going to try and get a bit higher, and I can shoot right down into it. If we could get some light on this, oh my goodness me. So there's still a chance, this is just blowing through gently. Look, just blowing through ever so gently. Absolutely magnifique. Right, I'm gonna rattle a few more of this off, then I'll walk up there and I'll flick you back on when I've got something else lined up. So when you're presented with a vista as beautiful as this, it'd be rude not to shoot a wide angle pano, wouldn't it? So I'm looking now, you can see, look at this, all the way across, sweeping right the way through the scene. Now when you're shooting these, obviously make sure the tripod's level, goes without saying, because then once you've leveled your camera you can just effectively pan through it, focus on a point, flick autofocus off into manual focus, whatever it is on your lens, and then bang, 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 leaving at least a third overlap. Dead easy. Now, part of the things I'm struggling with, and you'll notice I'm saying I'm struggling with, it's not a problem, I'm struggling with on this images, I could do with being about another 30 feet higher, because these trees down here, their reflection is in the water at the back, and it's also covering up some of these trees. Now, to be honest, there isn't a right lot I can do about that. I might be able to get a bit higher there, but I don't think it's going to do as many favours. And as soon as I do that, I bring these trees here into the equation. So I've got a feeling this is probably as good as I'm going to get, but I will have a try up there and see, and if it's any good I will put it up for you. But yeah, the mist is still in that valley over there. It's still around and about. I'll tell you what, I'd love to be on some of these peaks today looking down on that. That would just be absolutely magical. Not saying it's not magical here, because it is, it's absolutely beautiful, but when you look around at these peaks, what they're looking down on, anyone that got up early and decided to go and climb some of them, I bet if you climb the Langdales today looking down on Bleak Tarn, I bet that was pretty special as well. But needs must, and we have to make do with what we are given, and what we've been given is something absolutely magical. So all good. Right, I'm going to rattle a few more of these off and then I'll put them up for you now, and let's move on and try and find the next comp. May have made a cardinal error. Sun there is threatening to come through, and I'm now down here, and I was all the way up there. So the only shots I can take now if the sun does come through is I have to throw the drone up and take some with that. But I thought I'll take you and show you these waterfalls, because everything's in full flow now, so it'd be rude not necessarily to shoot them, because I don't know if there's a shot there, but you can have a look at them, and then if you want to come here you know what you're looking at. Took some nice shots with the drone there. I don't know what people's views on drone photography are really. I suppose the purists again will say that, well, no, it's a different genre, it's not landscape photography. Well, if you're taking pictures of landscape, I think it's landscape photography. So I think probably, with the exception of maybe the tree in the mist, I think the drone shots are probably the best shots of the day. It's tough when it's like this, when it's no conditions, no light. It's hard, but that's what the joy of it is, isn't it? It's trying to make something out of nothing. So anyway, enough reflection and rambling. Let's get down them waterfalls and I'll let you have a look at them. this is one of the smaller ones, you can see it there. Now I've always thought there's a shot here, especially with the light being there, looking up, trying to cut out as much of the sky as possible. And with it full floor like this, I might just grab one, I might just set the camera up and just see if I can grab it, because I like this little tree that's orange that's in the background. And I think that contrasts nicely with the greens. So might just set the camera up quick and just see if I can't frame something up. It's not going to be a world beater, but you know, it's here for next time, and we just don't know, you know. It's all about taking images, all about taking images. So I might set the camera up. If I do, I'll show you it now when I've got it set up. So this is the second waterfall on the way down, and the next one's even bigger. But I am going to stop and just grab a shot of this, I think, because it's in full force. I think there's a nice composition with the rocks lined up, just leading you in. I'm thinking maybe a nice long exposure, really milk that water out. And then some faster shutter speeds as well, we'll play around, see which is best when we get back in the studio. But yeah, this is the second one. If you do come here, make sure you got boots on. It's rather slippery, shall we say. But definitely worth a visit. If you don't want to, if you want to come and see just the waterfalls, you're not bothered about Tarn Hows, you can actually park at the bottom and walk up, but it's steep. I won't lie to you, this is steep. I mean, I've got probably about, what, 20 kilos on my back with all the photography and video gear. So it's pretty hard going. So I'm going to line something up here now, and I'll flick you back on as and when I've got the comp lined up. So played around quite a bit with this composition, because waterfalls are notoriously difficult to shoot, because you end up with loads of sky in the top and it just looks real messy. So I'll show you what I've lined up. Now, this ain't going to set the world on fire, right? It's not, and I know that. But to just talk you through what my thought process was. Try to use that tree there as like a natural frame into the shot. These rocks and the water to lead you in, and then the waterfall in the middle. So effectively, once we take that, and this is on a 1/10 of a second, you can actually see it's giving quite a milky effect even at a 1/10 of a second, because it's so fast flowing and I'm stood further away from it. So it's quite nice. Is it going to win any wars? No, but just nice, just a nice image to remind you of the day. But try to crop the sky out as much as I can. The sun's right behind it, so there's probably some jiggery pokery we can do to enhance this when we get it in the studio, but just a nice little shot. Take you to this next waterfall, let you have a look at this one. And this is the third one. It's running today, this. It's all the water that we've had over the last few days, well, week and a bit. It's absolutely hammering it down. Look at that, okay? As beautiful as it is, I've come here a few times and there's just no composition that I've been able to find that I've been happy with. So it's like, I don't know, maybe summer, but when you get summer you get the leaves on the trees which block it. In the winter when there's no trees, there's not a great deal of interest. It's a tough one, really tough. I've been all the way down the bottom to try and look going up. This is pretty treacherous though when you get to this sort of like level of water, and you can't get too close because you're forever, you're wiping the lens, you're having to watch where you put your feet because you don't want to be in there. Anyway, I'm not going to shoot this one. We'll head up back to Tarn Hows, I think, so I'll see you on the top. And that's it, Tarn Hows in the Lake District. Absolute photographer's playground. There's so many compositions around here that if you just wanted to spend all day, you could quite happily, you know, keep shooting. It's really, really good. Oh, I've had a problem with the website as well. GoDaddy haven't transferred the name over to Squarespace, so my website is still Elysium Photographic, which I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see some of the prints that I've taken recently and before. There's some for sale, stuff like that, but don't feel obliged. Yeah, and that's it. So if you like the content, don't forget, give us a like, subscribe, leave us a comment. If you want to see future content, hit the bell. I think that flashes up then, tells you when the next videos are out. But yeah, until the next time, I'll see you around. Wow, superb.